This is as bad as I've seen it in some time. Now, it's not the worst. This ain't our first rodeo, but it's not just the price, and that's nasty enough. But the sentiment out there, everyone's worried. This is the end of the world. We see Bitcoin right now, 65,400, Ethereum at 1,900, XRP at $1.30 at the time of this recording. And that was after pretty significant recovery here the last couple hours. It was even lower than that. We'll look at some analysts. Is this doomsday? Has it arrived? Is it just going to be a slow grind down to hell? Do we have any hope here? We do have some exciting news for XRP. We got some crash outs from both Michael Saylor and some new ones from Charles Hodgkinson. We got quite a bit to get into. Let's just jump right into it here. We see XRP facing heavy selling pressure here, dropping 20% in the last 24 hours, losing critical support at the $1.60, tumbling down to $1.26. Support has flipped to resistance. Stop losses likely triggering the acceleration here. Big time trade volume, $13 billion. And you think back to 2017, when we started out that year, we were churning about $400,000 in daily trade volume for XRP. That's how far we have come. Never lose sight of that. Is this going to stop? Is the pain going to end here? We talk about the good stuff. When there was nonstop inflows for the XRP ETF, well, we have seen outflows totaling $146 million from those XRP ETFs. Now, the cumulative inflows still sitting pretty strong. At least XRP ETF is live and trading. That's a big, move forward. We're sitting at $1.37 billion currently in cumulative inflows. But recently we had one day with 53 million in outflows on January 30th, followed by an even sharper 93 million exit. So that's no joke right there. We had a massive streak of positive inflows. I said before, that's going to break eventually. And we know that. Within crypto, you're going to hit these really turbulent times. The momentum is undeniably slowing, but that's the environment we're in. I mean, you see it in precious metals, gold and silver selling off. We see, in the stock market, and of course, crypto at large. This isn't an XRP issue, so XRP is not going to be immune from all of that. The good news, though, we're seeing a big move here, cross-chain compatibility here with wrapped XRP. It's heading to Solana. The walls around the XRP ledger are coming down. We're going to see this asset put in motion. And look, I don't care if you're taking XRP, you're using it on Flare, you're wrapping it and using it on other chains like Solana. That's just going to put XRP in motion, marking a massive shift in how XRP can utilize across the DeFi landscape. We want this on as many chains as possible. You can use it wrapped Ethereum on a ton of different chains. It's bullish here. And why this is a game changer, of course, liquidity explosion. XRP holders will soon be able to tap into Solana's massive DeFi ecosystem, DEX, yield earning protocols. And even if you don't do those things, someone will. And it just takes supply off the market. Interoperability, this isn't just a bridge. It's about making XRP a multi-chain asset while maintaining a one-to-one peg. And developer freedom. If devs are building on Solana, they can now integrate XRP into their dApps, opening the door for lending, borrowing, trading pairs. Again, as a global asset, we want this to be available on all these different chains and all these different dApps. It's going to drive demand long term. We'll have to see how much. I bet you quite a bit here. Ripple's confirmed the return to their global virtual event on February 11th and 12th. The theme is the era of capital markets. We're going to hear from Brad Garlinghouse, Monica Long, prior CTO Joel Katz, David Schwartz, and also Stuart Alderati here. Institutional giants, Grayscale, head of products, and also Gemini's head of institutional will be there. Leaders from the Solana Foundation, Binomial, and Hex Trust, and also a surprise mystery guest. I thought I saw next at Crypto Eddie. I think she's going to be interviewing Brad Garlinghouse maybe, so that's exciting. What's on the agenda? Of course, we're going to talk about ETFs, ETPs, a deep dive into regulated XRP investment products, cross-chain expansion, which we just talked about, XRPL upgrades, and global strategy. Monica Long's going to walk us why XRP remains the heart and soul of Ripple and their 2026 roadmap and beyond that. I've talked about that. That is the basis of most of their value. This should be a world-class event. I can't wait to check that out. Now, we have Michael Saylor here. A lot of people go after him because of his strategy, right? And his response was 99% of the people in the world don't even know you exist. He's important. You're a nobody. Michael Saylor hitting back at the traditional crypto investor. This is what I put. It's not a problem with how he custodies his Bitcoin. That's not the issue. It's the fact that he's a degenerate gambler. He's going to eventually blow a hole in the crypto space, a significant one. That's the issue. He's irresponsible with leverage, and it is no strategy. It is straight up gambling, and that is the problem. If anyone has any sense, they know that ain't going to be good long term. We get short term pumps from this guy, but he's going to cause a lot of problem here. Now, this is my point. It's not an issue of strategy and Saylor survive this specific sell-off. They very well may. If this crypto market rebounds here anytime, fairly soon, it's going to be a great trade. You're probably going to make a lot of money off of strategy. Of course, it's a levered Bitcoin play here, right? It's going to go up faster than Bitcoin. That MNAV is going to return. Great trade. But when significant dilution happens, and that's what's going to happen. It's not about the Bitcoin being seized or taken or sold off. It's about the dilution of your stock. The average person is going to understand the real risk and the illusion that they are selling. That is going to break. It will eventually happen. Might happen now, but if not, it'll happen down the road because he has to keep buying up and up and up, and he can only take a prolonged and vicious sell-off for so long. I wrote an article about this. The game strategy investors don't realize they're playing. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It'll be linked down below. If you have some maniac out there that thinks that strategy is some kind of foolproof, very safe investment, send them this article. Check it out. I said, if you own strategy stock, formerly MicroStrategy, you probably think you're playing it safe, but in reality, such a person doesn't really understand the risk. In the equity world, ownership, it's a moving target. When we think in crypto, are my coins safe? Is the vault locked? Ownership is direct. If you got a Bitcoin, you got a Bitcoin. It's different here with this. You are buying a stock. You have to know how many shares exist. Is my percentage of the asset shrinking? Because the metric is not how many Bitcoin strategy owns. That can go up. It's the Bitcoin per share that you have. You are going to essentially be diluted over the long term. Dilution quietly sells your Bitcoin, even if strategy's Bitcoin's going up. Anyway, it breaks it down in quite a bit of detail. Check it out. Link down below. And again, if you have someone that's going to argue otherwise, send them this article. Set them straight here. The last article I did, you guys, pushed to over almost 1 million in total impressions here. A lot of comments. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. But anyway, check out this article. Link down below. There on X. Now, Charles, he's saying, well, why should it be easy? Charles Hoskins says the path to restructuring the entire global financial system, it's not a straight line. And David Schwartz has said the same thing. People asked, does it seem like it's taking too long? He's like, what? To, redo this very old financial system? Well, in some ways maybe, but not really. It's a big task, of course. And he says, right now, look, nothing's stable. The president, gold, stocks, real estate, it's all unstable right now. Is Charles up to the task of getting this done? I don't know. He's looking a little rough around the edges. He had some crash outs in this interview or this video, but in general, he's a smart guy. He knows what he's talking about. He made the comment, he's down $3 billion. He's down more than anyone else. Whatever. But that it is true. You got to understand the moment we are in, how volatile it is. Crypto, it's been down and out many times. It's going to come back. We understand that. And this is a tough task. We're dealing with a corrupt system. We're going against corrupt entities and governments and everything else. It is going to be a struggle bus, but one that I believe the crypto community is up to task for. Now, 10x Research, they're calling for Bitcoin to fall all the way down to $40,000. They're saying, look, the 4-year cycle, it held. There just was no alt season. So Bitcoin extended up, and now we're in a full-blown bear market, and it's literally going to grind us down to hell for the next few months where we'll reach 40,000. Not the way I see it playing out, not probably just because it's the way I hope it doesn't play out. Let me know down below what you think, though. Are we in a long-term sustainable bear market, or are things going to recover this year with clarity getting passed or whatever it may be? Are we going to get our footing here eventually? Let me know what you think. But a lot of analysts like this are saying, no, it is all over, Red Rover. Get ready for pain. We've been through that, those long-term bear markets. We will see here. Lastly, Winklevoss twins, and this ain't good for what I'm trying to say, that we're going to get a recovery. You see these crypto companies start cutting back. That's a sign of, well, things are unstable and we probably are in a bear market. Gemini cuts its workforce by 25%, getting rid of UK, EU, and Australia operations here. Winklevoss twins site being stretched thin in the foreign market. Gemini stock down 85% from its IPO. Hit record lows here recently. accounts in those markets go to withdrawal only on March 5th. So, that's not a great sign, is it? You see a big crypto company cutting back a bit. We'll have to see this play out. I wish I had the answers for you, right? I wish I could tell you, here's the squiggly lines. This is how it will play out. From what I've learned, you just got to stick in there, look for buying opportunities, and have a long-term kind of outlook here, because I really don't know. I don't know if we are in a full-blown bear market or 2026 will play out the way we hoped, and only time will answer that argument. But let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.